up if you just stay one minute. We are on the air. What's good, peoples?
What up, everybody? Welcome to another show.
Feels a little weird, huh, Pete?
I don't know what's going on with mine now. Now I'm having problems.
Yeah, that's me every week. Like it's more
Now
delayed for me, so I just wait for you to say we live, and I just go with it. So yeah, we actually live
the
now. So
video was like
everything
choppy.
freezing
It's
up.
so choppy.
Yeah, well, we live
Yeah,
now,
on
y'all.
my end right now, and the signal. All right, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another show. If you're new here, hope you stay. Even though I haven't. Well, you say we're good, right, Blunt?
We good. Yeah,
Oh my
we good.
God, horrible on my end. Okay.
Just
All
go
right,
with the flow.
so guys, we've been, huh?
I said just go with the
Now
flow.
you're gonna start saying, "I can't hear you." You're gonna start, "I can't
No,
hear you,
I
Pete.
ain't.
I can't
I
hear
ain't.
you."
You good?
All right. So past couple of weeks, we've been having some guests coming on. I think it was a couple of weeks ago. We had a couple of guests, but one of them was, but one was not heard, was not being heard by
The other guests.
one of our guests,
You know,
and he had a lot that he wanted to talk about, and we couldn't get to it. So he's back today. He's back today. So without further ado, let's bring him in. Mr. Roy out of Jackie Gleason Depot.
hey Roy,
Welcome
where your
to the
glasses at,
show.
Roy? Squinting. There you go.
Roy,
Oh, let me put his mic on. I'm sorry, man. Yeah, man.
Roy
Yeah,
from Jackie Gleason. Welcome to the show.
what's up? What's up? Thank you for having me back.
All
All right. So Roy, just real quick for those that don't know you, your name, where do you work out of, and how long have you been working for
My
Transit?
name is Roy Carwood. I'm out of Jackie Gleason Depot. Um, I got 33 years on the job now. I touched down 33 actually in March. Um,
All right.
like always, I always say, just to put in perspective, the kind of time I got on the job in the borough of Brooklyn, my peg number is number 18. So,
Whew.
I'm blessed to be here. And I thank God, you know what I'm saying, for the blessing He gave me to have this job for so long. You know what I mean?
right. So
And
you
I
Right.
appreciate the opportunity that you guys give not only me, but so many other people who want to discuss the things that are going on at the job to give everybody the knowledge. You
Yeah,
know, last
so-
time when I was on your show, you know, my 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 campaign was "It's time for change." That was my campaign. It's time for change. This time I'm on your
right.
show and I'm saying, you know, wake up and stay alert, wake up and pay attention. That's it. Wake up and pay attention because I think
So
that
the
that's
change that
something.
we got, was that the change we was talking about?
You know what? I congratulate Bob Martinez on that victory and everybody else on, that won with him. Everybody, you know what I'm saying? Jelani,
Right. All right. There you
Nicholas,
go.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. All right.
Congratulations to them. That was a victory well deserved for them. You know, considering everything that happened. You know what I'm saying? Uh, now we're moving forward. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And
So
yeah,
what's
so I'm
what's
here,
on the
man.
top of your dome? What's on the top of your dome? Just start spitting out. What's
Well, the
the
first
first
thing,
thing you wanted to talk about?
the first thing I want to start off with, because I'm glad you asked that question, because the last time I was on your show, when I went back to work the following week, man, I was getting bombarded, by people like, and I didn't really like the vibe I was getting. You know what I'm
are.
saying?
Mm.
Because I think people
Like what? What were
misunderstood
you
what I was.
hearing?
Well, for starters, a lot of what I was getting backlash from was because the people that were coming at me based on what I was talking about that I felt that needed to get addressed, they jumped on that bandwagon not because they didn't agree with what I was saying, but because they were not happy with the fact that I endorsed Rob Martinez.
Oh,
And
really?
and 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 and, and you know what? Some of them came to me and they said, Roy, you know what? It was because you voted for Rob. I said that because you know what I'm saying? Like I didn't feel like he was the one. You know what I mean? So I was like, yo, I get it. But I also know that most of the people, um, it was because of people that I spoke to that I stood up. You know what I'm saying? I had a lot of people come to me and say, Roy, thank you for stepping up. Thank you for talking about it. Because a lot of people were scared. A lot of people just didn't know how to voice their opinion. A lot of people were frustrated because they were voicing their opinion with the last administration that we had in the union. And I'm not gonna take away nothing from the last union we had, because obviously you know that I was a big person to endorse Aaron. That's my guy, Aaron. Hope all is well in your retirement. I endorse Ebony. I endorse Nicholas. You know what I'm saying? They were all on that slate that I endorsed. So I put my heart into trying to, get them into office. Everybody knows that. You know what I'm saying? And so obviously, when they see me say, "Hey, it's time for change," they were like, well, let's hear what he has to say. What's going on? So a lot of people, were frustrated because they felt like things weren't getting done. And and I don't think that things not getting done was because the past administration did not have the ability to do something about it. I just think that they lacked the knowledge to utilize the strength given to them by the position they had. You understand what I'm saying? I mean, the depot chairman is a very powerful and serious position in the union, right? Because you got X amount of hundred employees in each garage that they unify to elect or put somebody in a position to help them, right? That's what this is all about, right? We elect somebody to
Mhm.
be our voice. Um, and then little by little, people just got tired. They just felt like, we're not being heard, and things
What
changed.
makes you
So
think
anyway,
that? What makes you think they said they were not being heard?
the
What
outcome
was
of the
going on?
election, the outcome of the election said,
Mm.
let me, the numbers don't lie. Those numbers were crazy. The election, those numbers speak volume. Um, I really believe that, had it been a slate like, with LJ, Raul Martinez, and Country, you know, um, like it would have been a landslide. I really believe that because
Right, it
when
was a
you
slate, but they just kind of took LJ off for whatever reason. You know?
right, so when you went to vote, you couldn't vote as a slate.
Right, you
You
had
could
to go
you could
independent.
you had to vote
Okay.
independent for them
Right.
because of
But
that,
then they
right?
brought in somebody at the last minute that not everybody knew.
Right,
It was
right. And even that guy they brought in at the last minute, Dexter Charles. Dexter Charles.
yeah,
When you look at his numbers,
yeah.
his numbers were for some. When you think about it, and I'm glad we're having this conversation on this particular topic right now. When you think about it, when somebody was brought to the table at the last minute and still put up the numbers that he put up,
Yes, that definitely speaks volumes.
that speaks volume, man. That speaks volume. If you take away the 193 votes that they got on their slate, you know what I'm saying? On their slate, this with just those three right there would have been a landslide. So I really believe that if Rob had a slate, had it been him, LJ, and Country, um, I think it would have been. But anyway, congratulations to them. And to Ebony and who lost, and it's sad because I had a lot of love for her. You know what I'm saying? This is not, because it hurt me. You know what I'm saying? Because I know this, it hurt, but this is nothing personal, man. This is nothing personal. It's nothing personal. It's just a vote, and like I said, I was the biggest. I mean, I could tell you in the middle of the night, I don't remember seeing nobody with me getting dirty, getting up and down those buses, handing out, putting flyers, making sure that when everybody pulled out in the morning, they saw that flyer that said Aaron, Ebony, and Nicholas. That's slate. You know what I'm saying? I pushed hard for them. You know what I'm saying? So I don't mean that. That doesn't mean that it entitles me to say what I'm saying, but I'm just saying that I believed in them. You know what I'm saying? And it's just an election, man, and those that vote, man, that me coming on your show a couple of weeks ago, I don't think had anything to do with those numbers. Those numbers, when I saw those numbers, I was just in shock. I was in shock, man, and I think they have to listen to that, and hopefully Rob is listening to it. I hope that Rob doesn't just see it as he won the election. I hope that he understands what that victory means is that people want change, you know, and that he was an advocate of that, right? He was like, his thing was give the depot back to the members. I'm gonna take it one step further. I'm gonna say give the union back to the members. We don't want the depot back. We want the union back. You know what I'm saying?
Robert English. Who are you talking about? Robert English. He posted. Why didn't he feel any for the
for
other
the other
candidate?
people. Mm.
Why he didn't feel what?
Any,
It
that's what he
says
just has.
why he
Mm.
didn't feel any for the other candidate. You want to be a little more what do you call it? Specific? Yeah, Mr. Robert English. Yeah, so we could actually pass the question properly because I don't know what you mean by that. Sometimes the comments come in a little late, like we're already moving forward, and the comment may have come a little later, and we
Yeah.
already lost like where what the question was about. Oh, any
But with that being said, I wanted to pick up on a topic that started, like I said, that when I started the show, that I was getting like I didn't like the way the vibe, that was going on because some people felt that I was making personal attacks on a certain individual. And I'm gonna be honest with you, it wasn't personal attacks on a certain individual. I just used this individual status as an example of why I felt that the union was lacking last time. I wasn't checking this individual's pockets because anybody who knows me knows that I'm not there. Anybody who knows me knows what I'm getting. It takes that individual that I use as an example 50 hours of overtime just to be able to have a conversation with me. I go to work Monday through Friday and I'm already 50 hours ahead of him. He's just on 80 hours. So he's got to have 50 hours of overtime just to be able to have a conversation with me. And God bless him because he gets it. He does get those 50 hours and then he does pass me. But the point I'm trying to make is I'm not the person. It's just on this job, seniority means a lot, right? Seniority is not just about picking big runs, picking vacation. Seniority is a big brother type of thing. So a lot of times people, they won't go to the union and talk. They come to us as senior guys to air their frustration. And a lot of times, a guy like me, I just come to work and I go home, I mind my business. I do my 13 hours and I mind my business. You know what I'm saying? But you always get stopped and you always hear people upset about things. And you share their frustration because you feel like you care about the job and you care about right and wrong, you feel their pain because you said, there was a time when I felt this way.
Mm-hmm.
So I use this individual as an example because what I was saying was there was people that came on your show and they were typing last time that was a management problem, that was a dispatcher's problem. And I disagreed with them. Even when I went back to work.
Right.
When I went back to work, I said, hey, this don't have nothing to do with the dispatchers. This don't have nothing to do with management. I've been in the trenches with these guys. I see what they do. Dispatchers just want to get the work done because they have somebody that they have to answer to. I've seen it. They get the pressure from up above. A lot of people believe that dispatchers do not catch any heat. Dispatchers catch a lot of heat. So if I had on a white shirt and I had a certain group of people that I knew I could depend on all the time, at my discretion, I probably would do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't want to get the hammer thrown down on me, right? Then management
Okay.
has the same problem, right? Management has the heat coming down on them. I've seen it. I'm in there with them. I was there and I see they get problems that they have to deal with from downtown, from the community, from people that are powerful in the community that they have to answer to. You know what I'm saying? So it's hard. It's hard. So once you're working there and you realize that this is not make believe, that this is real, you say, you understand, you know what I'm saying? That it's not about the dispatchers and it's not about management. So my thing was, it was the union. The union was lacking because all the members were coming to the union. All the members. Like, yo, why we can't get work? Why we can't get work? Why is the same group of people getting work all the time? Why
Mm-hmm.
is the same group of people getting work all the time? Why are we not allowed to work? And it got to the point where the last administration, the number one answer they had was they could hire whoever they want to hire. The
Right.
number two answer was, well, the person you're talking about puts in a slip every day. So I said, you're not talking to a rookie here. Like, what do you mean he puts in a slip every day? What's available that he's putting a slip in? He could only work the yard. So when you got a guy who probably for the year of 2024, if what they're telling me is true, because I don't know none of this stuff. I don't waste time going on the internet looking for this stuff, But when they told me that in 2024 he made 180,000 in the yard, you
God
say to yourself,
damn.
without going on the road, that's hard to digest. That's
Yeah.
hard to digest, because you say to yourself, if their base salary, if you do 40, I'm not quick with the math, but if you multiply $40 an hour by 80 hours by 80 hours, which is every 2 weeks, I think that roughly comes out to like a little over between 80 or 90,000 for the year. But now when you're talking about that somebody doubles that or triples it, whatever, you say to yourself, why wasn't there enough for everybody to eat? You know what I'm saying? So it was not personal. I wasn't checking that individual's pockets. I was checking my pockets. I was checking the pockets of the person or the people who would come and complain to me about it, right? Because the truth of the matter is, if it was a role reversal, that same individual who's eating all the cake, he would be like, yo, why can't I have some? Because anybody who knows him, they know that's his history. You know what I'm saying? He wants what
Okay.
everybody else has. You know what I'm saying? And it's only fair. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with him. You listen, I applaud him for doing what he did. He beat the system.
Right.
I applaud him. It's about making that money. It's about putting that hustle in. It was not personal. But when I come back to work and I hear that he's using my name, oh, he's checking my pockets while he don't mind his business, that kind of hurts because he's missing the point.
Why is that?
He's missing the point. And there's a lot of people this
I
year
can hear you,
that
bro.
did not get that extra Christmas gift, that did not make that extra mortgage payment, that they had to choose. Had they given the opportunity to put into work down there, those hours that were allowed it, you know what I'm saying? By they would have had it would have been a lot more love in the depot. And you're probably saying, well, Roy, how could that happen? One of the ideas that we spoke about, and I spoke with Aaron, and and I spoke to the boss that we had before, not to the new boss. We need to bring back extras. We need to bring back
Correct.
extras. We need to bring back more extras. This is a depot that a lot of people don't know. A lot of people don't know. We used to have extras in the morning. We used to have extras in the morning to accommodate the EPIs that were pulling in because we was dealing with an era at a time that everything went through the fuel station, right? You know what I'm saying? Even if you went to the
Okay.
fuel station, they told you to park it on a different track.
Mm-hmm.
But then somewhere along the line, we are our own enemies. We are our own enemies, worst enemies. This started. This started. This started. Good bus, bad bus. This started. So when this started,
Okay.
somebody in management is paying
So,
attention, and they say, you know what?
I've seen that. I've seen that.
We don't need extras. Why we need extras for? If these guys are willing to pay attention to this and park the bus on their own, so we took money out of our own pockets, right?
Mm,
I've seen
Hugo,
situations. I've
hold on
seen
one second,
situations.
Roy. Give me a second. Hugo, refresh the page because it was stuck with that comment over Roy's face. You got to refresh your page. It'll remove it. All right, yeah, Roy. Sorry about that.
Yeah. And we need, and if we're not going to get back the extras, um, we need to bring back more tricks. I mean, Jackie Gleason at one time had over like we had probably almost 30 extras in the yard. We didn't touch 30, but it was definitely over 25, 27 tricks in the yard. I mean, I was talking to a guy that retired,
how long ago? How
and
long ago was this? You remember?
oh man, like it was over. Well, obviously it was in 2000, but I don't know what year they started to cut back. Um, but I remember we had 2 6 to 2s, 2 7. These are PMs, 6 p.m.s to 2 a.m.s, 7 a.m. to 3 p.m.s. We had 2 8 to 4s, 2 8 p.m.s to 4 a.m.s. You know, we had the regular in the morning, the 4 a.m. to 12 a.m., the 3 a.m. to 11, the 8 to 4, the 9 to 5s. You know what I'm saying? We
Okay.
had 2 to 10s, 2 p.m.s to 10 p.m.s. We had the 5 p.m.s to 1 a.m.s. I mean, we had a lot of tricks, man. We had a lot of tricks, and those tricks added up to a lot. And we lost that. We had extras in the night. We had the midnight extras. They eliminated extras to bring back tricks, right? You know what I'm saying? Um, so it's kind of rough. It's kind of rough. We got rid of some bus routes, so they cut tricks in the yard. But then we got back bus routes. We got back more runs on routes, but they never replaced the work in the yards. We didn't get back the work in the yard. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like there's an opportunity for all of us
Yeah, we're,
to
we're
make
throwing
money.
people under the bus. We're throwing people under the bus now.
What he said? What happened?
So they started.
I said we throwing people under the bus.
We got
Who said that?
A comment.
they,
A
they
comment.
Oh,
started cutting the tricks when Martin started in the yard. Poor
oh, okay.
Martin.
I see what he's saying. So,
Poor
so,
Martin. Mm.
so, so, nah. Um, in all honesty, when Martin worked in the yard, Martin is my guy. That's my boy. Um, Martin's. I got to tell you something, man. What Martin did in that yard. Uh, if we still had that today, a lot of what's going on right now wouldn't be happening. And I got to be honest with you, I'm gonna tell you another thing. Uh, Gibson, God bless his soul, may he rest in peace. Me and Gibson bumped heads a lot. Man. And but if Gibson was still alive, what's going on in that yard would not be happening. You
Mm.
know what I'm saying? And
Mm.
like I said, I think I've been pretty fair and honest. I just felt like the union needed to flex more. The union needed to to flex, to put like, yo, listen, if we're not going to put the extra work for our people to cover the work in the yard, nobody's working. Because in all honesty, that's all it takes. You know what I'm saying? For the union to flex. You know,
All right, so this
and
is something right now that Rob Martinez got to start taking over.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
It's the
definitely,
union,
definitely,
right?
definitely.
So this is something he's got to start touching up on.
Well, to be honest with you, it's my understanding that that's already in the works. I think
Okay.
him and LJ have already met with supervision, with management, to discuss. Um, I don't know if they're going to add tricks, but I definitely know that they're going to add extras in the yard. You know, supposedly they're going to add extras, and
What
hopefully
time
they.
period do you think this will be?
Well, I think right now, the problem that we're having right now is in the PMs, right? In the PMs, is the problem. I think that the problem that we have that a lot of people are not aware about, and I got to be brutally honest.
What up,
I
boy?
don't want it. I don't want it to look like I'm kissing ass or anything. But I just been around this long that I know. uh, um, it- the problem that we're having in the yard is not something because of a certain dispatcher. This problem has been in the yard for years. God bless his soul, may he rest in peace. Augie tried real hard. Augie was trying real hard to fix it. Augie used to sit with me and discuss with me because I was in the mix with him. I was working those long hours. I was what they considered a senior rookie. That phrase. I was a senior rookie at the time because the people that were ahead of me, like Martin, Ruben Chavez, Chief, and all these guys, they those guys, they were all about making their money, right? So Augie used to talk to me as a senior rookie. I'm what you consider a senior rookie at that time. Uh, and he used to show me the floor plan, like what he was gonna do to go talk to management, explaining why on certain days work is not getting done. You know what I'm saying? Why we can't finish on Tuesday and Wednesdays the same way we finish on a Monday or on a Friday or on a payday. It's funny because when you work down there that long, one of the things that we used to talk about is every payday. On payday, there's never a pulling line. Like we used to joke about that. On paydays, there's never a pulling line.
Mm,
But when you start learning about the demands that maintenance is putting on surface transportation, and you're looking at the EPI list, you understand why on Tuesdays and Wednesdays they're getting killed in the yard. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have anything to do with the shifters. It doesn't have anything to do with the dispatcher that's working the yard. Um, it's just that the demands that's being put is so hard. You know what I'm saying? Just like when you look at an EPI on a Tuesday and Wednesday as opposed to a Monday, you see there's more volume that's needed to go to maintenance for them to work on these buses, and we're not matching them. We're not matching them. We need we need more workers on those days. And if they're not going to give us back the tricks, then give us back the extras. Now, with that being said, we're going to go old school now. The problem with extras that I know that dispatchers are worried about, and I know that people that work in the yard are worried about, and we see it happen all the time. I mean, problems with extras is that sometimes people get lost. If we're going to talk, let's talk for real.
mhm.
We
Yeah.
get the opportunity to earn money. Management gives us what we've been fighting for, and then people get lost. People just want to come down there and get paid and don't want to do the work.
Okay.
So
Right.
so 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 we got to try to find.
That's in a lot of different jobs, though. In
Yeah,
a
yeah,
lot
yeah.
of
So,
jobs,
yeah,
everybody
and
just wants to take the
and
shortcuts to get paid.
unfortunately with our job, if there's a missing link, then you feel the pain. You know what I'm saying? Because it
Right.
usually lands. It. You know the funny thing about transit. I'm going to tell you the funny thing about transit, and it's sad. It's always the guy that works the hardest, that always gets the brunt. You know, like that always. I think you said I'm allowed to curse, right? I'm allowed to curse.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
man. Yeah.
The guys that work the hardest are always the guys that get shit on.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's the truth, bro. And then by the time that they give up, that's when they end up getting caught. You know what I'm saying? Slacking or lacking, whatever term you want to use. And it's not fair. You know, it's like the guy who's driving down the line every day that never takes a personal, that never does a shortcut because his
Hmm.
leader's acting up, and he carries the whole line for days, for weeks, for months, for the whole year. But the one day that he gets pissed off and he can't take it no more is the day that there's a beacon on his bus. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And there's nobody that steps up and says, "Hey, John Doe, that guy has been there for me. He has helped me maintain service. He has helped me." You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And unfortunately, that's the bad thing about transit. I don't know why that happens. I do not know why that happens, man. I really don't know why that happens,
It always
but it
happens,
happens.
especially to me.
You know what I'm
What?
saying? So
So
anyway,
Roy, let
talk
me
to me.
ask, what kind of ways to fix the problem do you suggest, in your opinion, or what
Well,
do you think should be done?
I think accountability is very important,
Mm.
but I think accountability has to work in a way that is not selective. So I'm going to give you an example. We're talking about right now. What are you talking about? When you ask me that question, are we still
Well,
talking about the
the work that's been given in the yard right now, that
right?
people get in so much work, and there's others that, like you said, need to eat too.
But I
How
think
would
the
you
only way
fix that problem?
I think the number one thing, the only way that could be resolved is by the union stepping in. I think the union has to step in and be like, look, listen, I'm monitoring this situation. This is not going down anymore. Like, listen, we all know that if something opens up at this moment and there's a
So, you
dispatcher
mean the
there,
union? So we could get everything straight up. You're talking about right now, Rob Martinez.
Raul Martinez, yeah, the depot chairman,
Step
yeah.
and speak to who? The dispatchers in the yard, the
No, I
management of the
think I think he
depot, to
has to.
who?
I think he has
Maintenance,
to.
who?
No, no. I think Rob has to step in, right, and be like, yo, listen, this practice is not going to continue anymore. We need to start seeing different faces down here. We need to see the love being shared. Um, Obviously, we've tried that; it's not working. So the next move now is extras, right? We need extras to cover the work. Uh, we need extras to cover the work all around, right? Obviously, a person does not make $180,000 working in the yard because of some extras, right? There's other things going on there. Uh, but we just got to find a way that we spread the love to everybody, right? That we give everybody an opportunity to make that money, and at the same time, we want this to work. So there has to be accountability. There has to be accountability. We like I said on your last show, there has to be there's this is a system of checks and balances, right? So once they figure out how they're going to do it, uh, you know, I recommended to them, you know, a long time ago. Like I started off in a depot called Flatbush Depot. In Flatbush Depot, I don't know if they still use this practice, but shifters were assigned to lanes. Uh, so it could be lane one, lane two, lane three. There was shifters a lot. That way, they could see who was producing right on any given night, who was producing more. But
Mm.
what happens is Pete. There's a lot going. There's a lot of more variables to this, right? It's not that simple because if
Mhm.
you're in a lane that has a kid who just got hired as a fueler and he does a bus in 2 minutes, and I'm in a lane with a guy who should have retired 5 years ago and he does one bus every 10 minutes, then obviously you're going to do more buses than me, right? So,
Right.
so, so there has the system has to change completely, right? Um, without
So do
violating
you think that
any
that's maybe
safety.
why? That's probably why they pick certain people to work, because they know that they're gonna move, and therefore they'll move that line quicker. And that's why whoever is in the yard giving the workout, they're gonna pick those that move faster, which is
100%.
not right. Is not
It's not
right.
right. Listen,
But at
listen,
the same
listen.
point,
I
you
told
know.
you I'm not gonna
Hmm.
bite my tongue. I told you they have pressure coming down on them, right? It's like being a coach of a team. It's like being a coach of a team, right? Like you have players that you like, and you have players that you know that once you put them on the court, they're going to put up points. You can't go with emotions, right? There are kids that are working down there that they're there to sell themselves. They're there to prove if you hire me, you can't go wrong. I'm going to work for you. But then you got some people that are like, we don't have to do it that way. We have to do it within the guidelines that was set to do things safely. You know what I'm saying? And that becomes a problem. So with that dispatcher who needs to get the job done, obviously he's going to get the call from his boss. I don't care what you do. I don't care who you hire. Just get the job done, and that's understandable. But we got to find. There's a lot of listen. Our workforce right now, our job, Jackie Gleason. If we have if we have 600 operators, seven, whatever the amount of operators we have, I would say that 80% of them are young, right? 80% of them are young, like below 40 and younger. So everybody can move, you know what I'm saying? But you have some people that are exceptionally fast. And when you have people that want to prove, like, hey, if you hire me from now on, I'm going to move even faster, that's always going to be the case, right? I mean, I was that dude. I was that dude 25 years ago, 20 years ago. I was that dude. I was a dude. You want to hear a funny story?
Hold on, Roy. I
That,
don't know if it's our side, your side, but you froze. Okay.
yeah. So um, it, the individual, unfortunately, that got caught up in the story that I was trying to tell about the overtime. One time, many many years ago, in the early 2000s, in the yard, we had a contest to see who could do the most buses. You know what I'm saying? Back in
Mm-hmm.
those days. And it was crazy, because the old timers were mad at us. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? What are you doing? You know what I'm saying? And I get it. And here we are years later. So anyway, I just wanted to clear that up and let people know that it was not personal. That what happened was not personal. The example that I was giving was for all our members, right? Because I care about everybody. I want everybody to have an opportunity to make money, man. There shouldn't be like, like no reason why that that jar is not available to everybody to put their hand in to take some cookies out. You know what I'm saying?
I
So,
wanted to
so
bring something up on that. I wanted to bring something up on that because we're talking about you spoke about some people that move a little slow and it takes them 10 minutes to move a bus, right? And we were talking about that dispatchers maybe pick the guys that are gonna move and do the job quickly, right? But there's another side to that. That sometimes there's operators that want to take their time,
yes,
right? The same
yes,
way. For instance, I started in Gleason. After 1 year, I went over to Flatbush. I was there for 5 years. I took the training over there to become um,
a shifter.
a shifter. I
Right.
took the shifter class. So when I went there, they taught me to do things a certain way. Then I wound up coming back to Gleason, and I had the opportunity to pick the yard for some reason. I was able to pick. I was still new, but I was able to get the yard. Now, me being new, and I was young. I was 35 when I started working. I was young. I was moving around. When I had the chance to do the yard, I was moving. So I was jumping in those buses. I saw the pulling line will go all the way down the hill down to Fifth Avenue and around, right? Into Fifth Avenue. So I was working and I was thinking people want to go home, right? These people are sitting on those buses. They want to go home because I've been there where I first started, where I would be like 3 in the morning sometimes in the fuel line when I would have had to finish about 12:30, and I was out there sometimes at 3 in the morning, all the way down the back on Fifth Avenue. So it was moving slow. So when I got that chance to do that, I was moving. So I would jump on the bus, go, connect the hose, I would fill the paperwork, and get on the bus and go park it. I was moving so quickly that some of the guys there got upset in Gleason. And they were like, yo, 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 what are you doing? What are you doing? And I'm
Right,
like, moving. Got to park the buses. We got all these guys that want to go home. And one of them was like, how do you know they want to go home? Leave them alone. They want to make that money. Take it
right,
easy. You're moving too
yeah,
fast. So
right.
I was filling out the papers like quick.
Well,
Anyway, they all got so pissed off at me. They got so pissed off at me that I think I did it maybe 3 times. And that was it. I was like, I'm done. I'm done because all these motherfuckers just damn lazy, moving slow. When we got all these people that want to go home, just do your job. That was me. Just do the
all right.
job. Just get in. So
So,
it's like two ways. There's the guys that
well,
want to
well,
make
let
the
me tell
money and
you.
moving slow, and then
Well, let
there
me
were
tell
the
you
young ones
something.
like me when I started.
Right, right. So when you're young and you come in
So
there,
dispatcher's gonna pick the younger ones because they're like they move.
and you know what? The young, we got people that care about the job, right? We still like I
Yeah.
feel like I'm one of them. We still care about the job. We want to get the job done, right? It's very rare to find a guy who's got 30 something years on the job that
Robert
still cares
emphasized I
about the job,
embarrassed the
right?
old guys.
Because because
Yeah.
because the truth of the matter is there's a lot of people. Yo, Roy, why do you even care about what's going on right now? Why are you fighting for these guys? Why are you fighting for these guys? That's what I was told. They were questioning me, like, why are
Mhm.
you fighting for these guys? Let them learn. They don't want to listen. But this is the thing. There's like, ever since I came on the job, the yard, I would say that I did 80% of my career in the yard. 80% of my career in the yard. Um, the yard, there was like an agreement, one of those agreements that you never seen, but you know it was there. Supposedly they want you to do like three buses an hour, right? It was four like every 15 minutes, but it's three, right? So what a lot of guys would do, they would pace themselves. So now when you got a guy like yourself back in those days coming and trying to bust out six in an hour, it becomes a problem because people are scared that they're going to try to set a new standard, right?
Mhm.
So one of the
Mm.
things, the reason I mentioned Flatbush, and we even did it in Jackie Gleason. When you see that you're moving a bus and you come back to the fuel station and you know somebody's missing, nobody should move a bus until that person is accounted for. We want to know why we're moving buses and they're not working. You know what I'm saying? Now, everybody has to use the bathroom, everybody has to take a personal. But when you find out that you're moving six buses because somebody wants to smoke a pack of cigarettes in the breezeway or in the bathroom or wherever, or they want to have a conversation on the cell phone and they disappear. That's a problem. You know what I'm saying? And this is where this all begins. I mean, we're all adults, we're all grown. For the most part, I don't want the narrative to be that we're all slacking because we're not. We're all hard workers. I've been working with a lot of people down there. We're all hard workers. But you do have a couple of rotten apples. You do have a couple of rotten apples. And unfortunately, you have to weed them out, right? And and the problem with this new generation, I'm not saying new guys, not new guys, literally new guys. This new generation of like, if you speak up, right, all of a sudden you're snitching. Like right now, when I address this situation about an individual working overtime, you're snitching. You're putting his business out there. You're in his pockets. No, my dude, you got to be a fool. If you're coming to work every day and you have an opportunity to make more money, but you can't because they're not giving you the opportunity that you're entitled to, you're the fool. If you go home and you look at your son, your daughter, your wife, and you say, you know what? I can't afford that vacation this week because I didn't get what he gets, even though I tried to and they didn't give it to me. But when I turn around, he got it. That's a problem. And I don't want to hear it no more. So to be honest with you, this is the last time I'm gonna touch on this topic. I don't know if you're ever gonna bring me back on your show, but that's why I said that wake up. That's my campaign for this show. Wake up and pay attention because everybody has to get together and everybody has to go to the union and be like, yo, listen, enough is enough. It's got to stop. And right now, I feel the guy that we have in office is going to be different in the sense that he's going to pay attention and he's going to try to make change happen real quick. And I know for a fact that he already started. So expect changes. Expect changes. You know, if everything goes according, uh, we should be having extras coming up in the yard. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to be embarrassed, and it never comes to fruition. But I'm pretty sure something's going to happen. And all I ask of the
Well, you're
members,
putting it out there. You're putting it
all
out
I'm
there.
asking of the
Mhm.
members, put in the work, man. Put in the work. Don't put in the slip. Put in the work. And what I mean by that is, when you put in for that overtime, man, work it. Don't just go down there and disappear, man. You know, we got somebody there now that's listening to us, that's paying attention to what we want. And if everything works out the way he got planned, we should have more opportunities to make money. You know what I'm saying? That's number one. Uh and I just needed it to be clear, man. This is nothing personal against the dude. I mean, I could get reckless and I could say a lot of things I'm not supposed to, but I'm not gonna lower myself. You know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna just keep it clean and say that, you know, this was never personal because I know for a fact, and anybody who knows that person knows for a fact, if the shoe were on the other foot, he'd be sitting in front of this camera, you know, advocating for change in the way they, you know, distribute the overtime. You know what I'm saying? Um, so moving on. Another thing that I wanted to discuss that was a big thing um, was this holiday pick, man. Holidays in general, but the Christmas and the New Year's. Um, what we have going on the job right now, which kind of worries me, is that we got a lot of people that have been on the job for a long time, but when they came on the job, since this was something that was practiced when they came on the job, they feel like that's normal, right? So when you talk to them, this is the number one answer they give you. Well, as long as I've been here, it's been like that. As long as I've been here, it's been like that. I can't remember it no other way. Well, you know what? I'm here to tell you that it hasn't always been like that. You know what I'm saying? So I have a friend of mine in another depot. He's my brother, man. Like I love this dude. He's good friends with me. And he called me and he spoke to me and he's like, yo, you know what? We're not gonna wait until Christmas to address this issue. We're gonna start now. We want change now. So it seems like this is a problem in every depot. It's not just a Jackie Gleason thing.
Mhm.
Um, when you look at your MTA Insight and you look at the list of holidays that they give us, if I'm mistaken, nobody sees an asterisk next to Christmas or an asterisk next to New Year's. And the reason is because there's no such thing as if you work one, you have to be off the other. You know what I'm saying? Or if you work one, you can't be off the other. I think the contract clearly states that based on seniority, we're entitled to the holidays that the union fought for in the contract. And I think that they need to start honoring that. Um, and it's not that we're getting greedy. Like people say, Roy, you're getting greedy. We had a very unfortunate situation this year, a lot of confusion. And I think that people's egos got in the way that they were not allowed. They were not able, not that they weren't allowed, that they weren't able to sit down and try to formulate a way where this could be exercised, giving people the day off. Christmas and New Year's landed on rookies' RDOs. So the whole narrative of we're trying to give the rookies a day to be off with their families went out the window. When you got Christmas and New Year's landing on a Tuesday and a Wednesday, that means that 90% of your people are going to be regularly off. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm. Mhm.
So there was more opportunities for people with time on the job to get both holidays off. That's what I was saying. Um, and honestly, if you're a new person looking at this video and you're saying, Roy, you're being selfish, but you know, I'm gonna tell you something right now. I'm not. When you got this job, you understood that there was not there was a very good chance that you were going to work both holidays. There's people that, regardless of the system that they try to put into place, still ended up working both days, right? So it's about seniority, man. It's about seniority. We earn it, and when you get to a certain point in your career, there's nobody here that's going to tell me, I don't care if you're on your way out and you just want to be like, yo, I'm going to be against Roy because I don't like Roy or whatever. You're thinking outside of the box. But when you get to a certain point in your career, you're not coming to work thinking, I got 30 years, I'm going to work Christmas to be off New Year's, or just because I work Christmas, I'm not going to get New Year's off. That don't happen. That's not happening. There's not one person here that's happening to. You know what I'm saying? But then when you sit down and you say, well, why this got to be like this? It's not in the contract. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that we're advocating for, because everybody on this job one day is going to be a senior person, and everybody on this job one day is going to get to the point in seniority where they say, you know what, I should be entitled to both days off, both holidays off. A big problem that we had, it was my understanding that this happened in Flatbush. I don't think it happened in Jackie Gleason, because I think this year they did it a little different. But if you took vacation for Christmas, they were forcing you to work for New Year's, because they said you were off. I mean, and the people were like, I didn't pick to be off. I took vacation that week, so I should be entitled to pick off. And they were not honoring that, and they were forcing people to.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? And that's wrong. It
I
shouldn't
see.
be
I
that way.
see. Like you had your vacation on Christmas and you put in for New Year's and they're saying no.
Right. Now, for
Mm.
everybody that's listening to this, I want you to understand that this is not management. This is not New York City Transit. This is not management doing this. It's the union. And when you get to the point that you say, damn, most of the problems we're having are with issues that the union is bringing upon its members itself, people get upset. People get frustrated. You know what I'm saying? If you hear your members saying, yo, we need this to be changed, and you refuse to change it, I believe that that's your ego. And you need to step back, and you need to really reevaluate what's your purpose in that position.
But who they
And
who they
and I, and I
who are they who are they who are they saying that to? Are they saying that to the union themselves, or they coming on here Facebook and typing it in and
type
leaving
in
it like that?
what are you talking
Whatever
about? What?
whatever beef they have with the union. Because a lot of times they don't say nothing. They don't go to the union meetings. They don't talk to the union rep. They just come on here and they say, yeah, I hate the union. Union sucks, and that's it.
Facebook
Well, well,
Warriors.
well,
Yeah,
yeah, like shithouse lawyers, right? So okay,
Well,
good question.
you everything you're saying right now is because you had the balls to step up and say things, but there's a lot of other people feeling the same way that you do. But
right.
like before, you was talking to somebody who's maybe a little shy and don't want to come on.
Right,
So you're speaking for a lot more people. So
a
don't
hundred
think it's
percent,
just you. You're
a
speaking for
hundred
a
percent,
lot more people.
100%. And
Now
you
they
want to
got
know
to
something,
step up and follow through also.
P? I want to tell you something, man. I want to be honest with you, bro. I know this is gonna sound corny.
I think
Like the young kids say, no cap, whatever. It's gonna sound
Mhm.
corny, but I love my job, man. You understand what I'm saying? I love my job. I take pride in it. Um, and there's some good people, whether they're dispatchers or managers, that I remember when they first started. They all had the same, you know, like there's a guy that's a big boss now, and when he was a bus operator, he used to always tell me, Roy, why don't you go to management and talk to them? Why don't you go to management and talk to them? And I used to tell them, yo, they're not gonna listen to me. You know what I'm saying? They're not gonna listen to me. And and it's funny because one day when he was the boss, I went to him and I said, "Yo, there used to be a guy that used to tell me, why don't you go to management?" And I told him, I said, "You remember who that person was?" And he started laughing. You know what I'm saying? Because he knew I was taking it back to him. You know what I mean? And what I'm and the reason I say that is because I'm worried about our young guys in the job, right? Because once you get rid of guys like me, Ray Bonds, Eric Rochford,
Damn, Eric's still
Mathis,
there? Jeez.
Mathis, Vic Lazada, number one in the depot. Once you get rid of guys that got 30 years and better, everything below 30 now is what they call senior rookies, right? So there's a very good chance. There's a very good chance that anybody with less than 25 years, they're not going to have the answers that are real answers, right? Their answer is going to be like I just told you. Well, it's been like that ever since I came on.
Mm-hmm.
They're not really going to know. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I put myself, when in this position to listen to people when people come and talk to me, and just be able to tell them, "Well, you know what? Did you speak to the union about it? Well, let's see." And a lot of times I tell them, "Well, I'll go and I'll talk to them." You know what I mean? I'll go and I'll
Because
talk
some
to
of
them.
them are afraid. Some of them are afraid to go and talk to the union, or they just don't know how to talk to the union.
And
Maybe you
it's
got to get a
understandable,
group.
right?
Maybe you got to get a group of people and be like, "Come on, we're going upstairs. We're gonna put this in Rob Martinez's desk right now."
Well, I think what
Hey,
Rob is trying to do, I think what Rob is
you
trying to
know,
do, what
Rob
I
is
like,
listening to.
I think what Rob is doing is for the first time that I haven't seen in a long time. And yo, let me tell you something, bro. Like I said, God bless the dead, but God bless
Isaiah
Gibson.
Perez says that you had his back and you helped him.
You know, who said that?
Lizelle.
Perez,
Oh, I think I know who that is.
dispatcher,
Yeah.
dispatcher.
Oh, he's in
Yes.
this group chat. Oh, all right, all right. Yeah. I appreciate that. Thank you. Um, but that's my guy, bro. Yo, but I just want to tell you that people got to wake up and pay attention, bro. I said it in your last show. Many of you probably have them if you got over 20 something years. We used to get a big book like this thick. I was going to bring it to put it on the show visually and then with the amendments. But now we don't have access to that, right? This new generation, they tell you, look it up online, look it up online. It's different when you got to look up online, right? Because, a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people, they don't, it's different. When you got the book right there, you could read, you could go to the chapter, you could go to it.
Well,
And
another reason is not to waste paper. So
yeah. Well, you
now
know
you can do
what?
it online. Oh, let's not waste paper.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'll challenge Rob if Rob is paying attention. Maybe Rob should
Hold
have
on,
a
hold
book
on, hold
for
on, hold on,
us.
hold on. Hold on. Gad. Gad, challenge him.
You got to flip them. There we go.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
Challenge him.
Challenge.
Rob, this is my challenge to you, brother. A good challenge. Put a book for us together in your office, like the Book of Eli type of thing. Just have that one book in the office, where people just could read through it, not like go online and look for it. And hopefully, because I know that you're tech savvy, that it'll have the amendments, everything up to date. Just have that book in the office, the same way you have that rule book, but have that book with the contract. You know what I'm saying? And I know there's a lot of paper to be printed out, but I know you got the resources to get that turned into a book, and it'll be there.
He just gave me more work.
Well, Roy, we're out of time right now. We're out of time right now, but we want to thank you for
Oh,
calling in.
look,
I
but
know that you probably got another hour and a half
Rob
to
already
go.
answered you, man. Rob said
What
it's
he said?
there already.
Rob,
Rob said it's there
he says
already.
it's there already.
That's what's
Oh.
up. That's what's up.
Uh-oh. All right,
Yeah.
all right.
Yo, if this was
All
if this
right,
was
all
drink
right.
champ, if this was drink champs, I would drink to that. Yo, listen, it's 8 o'clock, man. I want to thank y'all for having me on.
Thanks for
And
coming
remember to
in.
all your members
And
out there,
listen,
wake
go
up
ahead.
and
Because
pay.
you mentioned that we're not going to have you again. We'll have you whenever you want to come on, bro.
No.
Doors
Not that
always
you
open.
won't have me again. I said I'll never bring up that topic using that
Okay.
situation, that individual. You know what I'm saying? Because
Okay.
believe it or not, at one time, me and that dude were very good friends, man. But you know, when you get to the point that you don't want to share that piece of cake with nobody else, you become an evil person. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And then you do things that you don't realize you're doing. So I don't want to touch on that subject no more. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't personal with him. It was just me telling the young members, wake up and pay attention. You know, there's more to this than what you know. You got to be willing to do your homework, and know the rules, the
Mm.
real rules, and go in there and don't be scared to challenge something. You know what I mean? Like, look what we're doing right now. You know what I'm saying? I know there's probably a lot of people that are gonna get upset, like, yo, why Roy is starting that bullshit for? But in all honesty, man, like, you know, it's there, man. It's just black and white, man. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's a holiday, man. Like, and there's a lot of people, we're lasting on this job longer than the people that were before us. What
Mm-hmm.
better way to reward you than by honoring what the contract says? You know,
Mm-hmm.
because when you go to fill out that holiday, when you go to sign your book, your name in the book for the holiday, transit doesn't cut senior people off, right? Transit doesn't cut people. They got everybody in
Mm.
seniority order, which means, yo, these are the people that are entitled to get off that holiday.
Exactly.
Why should the union be the one to say, no, we're not going to do it like that? It doesn't make any sense.
Mm-hmm.
But yo, listen, thanks for having me on, man.
All
All
right,
right, and we'll talk.
thank you for coming on, and I will see what happens when you go back to the depot tomorrow.
All right, all right, peace.
uh, uh,
All right, peace. So, folks, with that said, I'm Brooklyn Pete,
I'm your boy Blunt.
and that's the end of our show.
Fuck them if they can't take a joke.
Ah.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.